Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights.
In this session, we are going to discuss how to use the aggregate function, what all different types of aggregate functions are present, and how to use the group by function in the Snowpark as well as inside the Snowsite. So let's get started. So first of all, we will import some modules which will contain some Snowpark functions in it as well. And then with the help of the configuration file, we will be setting up the connection parameters, which will contain the account name, user, the password, the warehouse, and the database as well. So if in case you don't know how to go ahead and create a session out of it using the connection parameters, please watch my previous video in which I've explained you how to create the session, and I have pinned that in the I button as well. Before we start, if you like my video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel for more content related to Snowpark and the PySpark. Once the session is ready, we will go ahead and create a data frame out of the table supplier. This supplier is present in the Snowflake sample data database and the schema TPCHSF1. So once you create a data frame out of it, let's go ahead and see whether it's been created. So these all data is present inside this particular supplier table. And now we can go ahead and use the aggregation methods that are available in the Snowpark to do some aggregation on the top of the data. So I will be calculating the minimum and the maximum amount that is present inside the account balance. So for that, I will be using the select clause to select the account balance, but for the account balance, I will be calculating the minimum amount of it, right? And then the maximum amount of it. And let me go ahead and execute this particular statement. So it has executed and it shows me that the minimum amount is minus 998 and the maximum amount of the account balance is 999.72, right? So this is the method one, how we can go ahead and do an aggregation on the top of the data frame that is present in the slope. Once you have done the aggregation, you can also alias the name of the column to the name of a desired column. So let's say this minimum S account balance doesn't make much sense. So I will be renaming this particular thing to minimum value, and I will be renaming the maximum value to maximum value. For that, we have an dot as underscore clause that you can go ahead and use to rename the particular column. So now you see it has renamed the column to minimum value and the maximum value. Let's go ahead and see what is the method 2 in which you can go ahead and calculate the aggregate. You can use the tuple of the column name along with the aggregate function that you want to use and enclose it inside the aggregation function. So let me show you a very interesting way. How will you know whether there will be a tuple or a dictionary or a list that you need to go ahead and use? So once you do it, it will show you all the method names. The method is aggregation. And if you just go ahead and move your mouse on the top of that aggregation function, it will go ahead and show you a list of the documentation, what the aggregation function can do, what all parameters it can accept. So in our case, the first method we have already seen, it has used the column. The next method is using the tuple, and the third method is using the dictionary. So right now, if you see, this is a tuple that I have mentioned. The minimum is the aggregate function, and on the top of this account balance, I want to calculate the minimum. Similarly, the maximum is the aggregate function. On the top of the account balance, I want to calculate the maximum. Let me execute this particular statement now. And you see, it gives me exactly the same result as it has given me the last time. Now, let's say I want to go ahead and mention it in a dictionary format. I can do that also. So I will go ahead and execute this particular statement now. It says the minimum of account balance is this, right? So let me go to the query history and see how exactly it looks like. So in the query history, you see that the SQL text is, it is selecting the minimum account balance from the particular supplier table, and it has made it to limit 1 and it is selecting from all the records as limit 10. This is a little complex optimized query that you see, but it is exactly calculating the minimum amount from the account balance and displaying the rest. Now, let's say I want to go ahead and calculate the minimum account balance. Along with it, I want the supplier key and I want to group it by the supplier key and the account balance and get the result out. So the select SQL query will look something like this. So let me go ahead and press enter, and it is executing this particular thing, and it has given me the supplier key number with all the minimum account balance. If I go back to the query history and refresh the page, you see it has selected the supplier key and the minimum account balance and given the result out of it with the query profile. If you will go ahead and scroll down, it has scanned the table, it has done an aggregation on the top of it, and it has given me the result out of it. So the scan progress was 100%. It has scanned the 0.13 MB of data, and it has given me the total data with the execution time of 1.5 seconds. So I will go ahead and execute the particular statement in Snowpark right. So for that, I am selecting the supplier key from the particular data frame that I created, and then I have grouped it by the supplier key again. So let me go ahead and execute this particular statement. So it says it has executed, but now I want to also get the minimum amount of the account balance for each supplier key, right? So I have done the grouping, but where is the minimum amount that is coming from? So for that, I will be calculating the minimum amount as well. So before that, let's go ahead and see what is the type of this particular grouping data frame that we create. It is a relational group data frame. Then you cannot go ahead and use any function which is a part of a data frame directly. So if I go ahead and execute this particular show command, it is going to be and saying that there is no attribute called show in this relational group data frame because it's not a normal data frame. It's a grouped data frame. So you cannot execute a show command or a collect command on the top of the group data frame. So now on the top of this particular group data frame, I will go ahead and calculate the minimum amount of the particular account balance for each supplier key. So let me go ahead and execute this particular statement. You see that it has executed with all the minimum account balance for each supplier key that is mentioned here. And if you compare the result from the Snow site to Snowpark, you would see it has given the same result as this particular SQL query. So in this session, we actually covered how to do an aggregation and how to do a group by on the particular data frame. And the group by actually gives you a relational group data frame, not an actual data frame. And on that relational group data frame, you can only use the grouping function. You cannot go ahead and use a show function on it. So that's all for today's session. I will conclude the session here. I will be coming up with more such videos related to Snowpark, Snowflake, and PySpark. If you like my video, then hit the thumbs up, share, and subscribe to my channel.
Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.